Filipinos, Arawak Seminoles, Shinnecock, Yamasee, Cairo Indians of Kansas City, so on and so forth. And we are mixed with not only European blood, even though I put that there, but we're also mixed with Asiatic blood. Hence the term Asiatic black man, right? And so on and so forth. And we are the people who Columbus labeled Indians. That's my first premise. My second premise is this. The Arab slave trade is the Atlantic slave trade. What do I mean by that, Yodi? Well, the Arab slave trade, I mean what I said, is exactly that. It's the Atlantic slave trade. It's the same, one and the same thing. What I'm going to use to prove that premise is the research from the great, in my personal opinion, the great Anatoly Fomenko. He's a Russian mathematician and an astronomer, and he spent 30 years researching this topic. And this is not his, when I say the Arab slave trade and the Atlantic slave trade is the same thing, this is not his conclusion. This is my—
You got 1 minute.
Okay, this is my conclusion, right? Okay, sources and books. Fast forward. Sources and books to substantiate my premise, my two premises. I have over 16 books here. I know Mazi Clan is about sourcing up, so I have 16 books here in the comment in my notes. And other sources materials includes old maps, photos, and images of American Indians and etymology. Those are the other three sources other than the 16 books I've presented here on my notes. This is where most of my perspective is going to come from. And additionally, if you scroll down, it has I'm going to interject the term black and where it comes from, and that's through Irish history. And I'm going to substantiate that argument. So that's basically what it is. All right. You got the floor, P.
Yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in today, man. It's your boy Sean P in the place to be, man.
We starting now?
Yeah, I don't even care. I ain't going to take that long.
Oh, look at you.
I oppose the belief that he actually has. Today I am going to demonstrate with evidence, without a shadow of a doubt, using historical sources, the reason why we ain't been here, and why we are not these particular people. And I'm going to do that using sound methodology and sticking to the historical source that even, which is the reason for the debate to begin with. And that's not only just on this channel, this is on other channels or just in the community as a whole. When you look at the historical source, which is the root of this conversation, which has been misrepresented by many people, and then we'll get into everything else. So I am here to demonstrate and not conversate. That's it. That's my time. Yoda, you can go.
Okay, hold up. So, okay, now we starting the rounds, right? The first round is 10 minutes. So you got 10 minutes. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, hold on. Don't start the time yet, right? Okay. Because I have to still send sources so P can put it up on the screen so everybody can see.
Okay, sure. Just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, got you. So P, I'm gonna send you some information, all right?
Just make sure you're not doing it from the same phone that you on StreamYard with.
I'm doing it, but it's just sending an email. I'm not cutting nothing off. Let me ask you a quick. LP, you still got Races of Men? I'm going to start with that book, and I'm going to.
I don't feel like looking for it, but I just send me your first round sources, because you only got 10 minutes. So
yeah. So the first 10
off the screen. I can take this off the screen now.
Yeah. But yeah, you can. I'm just to show that people, I have the notes and the information there, so I could read off my phone. So just let people know that's what I actually got. What I'm going to do is send you, if you got, because I sent you Races of Men already, didn't I? Or did I?
I don't know what you're saying, bro. I don't feel like
But
digging.
you remember you pulled up Races of Men in the old times, right? In the old before chant or podcast. You pulled it up yourself. So I just want to know, can you pull it up again?
Yeah, hold on one second, bro.
And I'm going to tell you the pages, which was on the notes that I sent you. I'm going to tell you the exact pages. So that's why I put the pages in there.
What's page number 1?
Okay, so I'm going to start with page 52 and
Hold on.
53.
Hold on.
Okay. Good.
We start 52 and 53. What
Yes,
else?
sir. We're gonna start there, and after that, I'm gonna tell you the page, and you just move on with like that. All right.
Are you starting on page 51, which is the beginning?
52. I'm gonna start with 52. Well, is that the beginning of the section? I'm not.
Hold
I
on.
don't really remember.
And for the audience, who's the author of Races of Men?
Dr. Robert Knox.
Listen, niggas told the bitch ass nigga that I want to go to page 52. He said, "You sure you don't want to go to page 51?" No, bitch ass nigga. He said what he said.
He was collecting autopsy on bodies from people were selling him dead bodies, basically, and that's how he did his experiments off of dead bodies.
This isn't one of the Aboriginal brothers
selling him dead bodies.
Ass nigga Shine P. He's debating on the Aboriginal.
I'm not gonna say what particularly happened to him. But
where am I going? What am I showing on here?
Oh, so page. I'm gonna show you the pages. Start with page 52.
I'm on 52, but it starts at the end of 51.
Yeah, let's leave it like leave that. Leave that. Yeah, just leave it. So I'm just gonna put up the pages so everybody can see. I'm gonna read off my phone though.
Are you sure you could do that at the same time?
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. I got you. I'm
on the book.
I'm in the book right now as I'm speaking to y'all.
Are you on a second phone?
Nah, I'm on my phone.
Bro, it's gonna kick you off.
Are you on the second phone? Okay, let's see if you get kicked off. Just let me know when something.
Yo, P, you got the page showing, so it doesn't matter.
The most jankiest.
I'm giving you the pages. So even if I get kicked off, you already be on the page.
Can you not read the screen?
Nah, you on the screen. I got you. I'm just gonna read off.
I'll debate this clown, but like nigga, go get your daddy. Go get Punk from. He ducking. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
He said, I want $2,000 for a debate. Nigga, you ain't about to get 2,000 so you can go smoke no crack.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to use. I have 16 books that I brought to the debate for sources. Like I said, I respect Mozzie Clan for show and prove. They work on show and prove. So I'm basically working off that paradigm. I'm going to start with 2 books first. Races of Men by Robert Knox, page 52. Right. And this is, I'm using Robert Knox because Robert Knox is going to prove that Black people was in the Americas. First, I'm going to prove a couple of things, Robert Knox. One thing they said about the American Indians is that we were extinct and we got wiped out by the Europeans, and that was a false lie. And Robert Knox is going to prove that no foreign race can wipe out an indigenous population. That's number one. I'm gonna repeat that. No foreign race can totally extinct or wipe out a indigenous population. Yeah, they could kill some, and they can move some, transport some, exile some, but they can't completely extinct it. This book proves that fact. So I'm gonna get into it. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right. So we're on page 53.
This is like one of the worst production debates ever. Let's skip it up a little bit. Hold on.
These people that he comes across looks like the first.
By the way, he's using StreamYards and all this. Got a PowerPoint. Dude just winging it. He just came on the bill. This nigga just set him up for a whole debate.
So, all right. So page 51. That's a false statement. That was always a lie, and they made you through Board of Education and curriculum to make you believe that the American Indians were wiped out. So this is my first 10 minutes is basically focusing on that situation. And I'm going to read from Races of Men that he says, this is in his words, that races can't be wiped out. Races can't be wiped out. So when they say that the American Indians were wiped out, that's a false statement. Hold on. I'm trying to get to the page on my phone.
You got 2 minutes.
I got you. Thank you. Okay, this is page, I'm moving from 53 to 77, page 77, because I got to jump back and forth. It says, man has found it difficult to destroy a race of man, nor do I think that he has yet succeeded even in this. Let me stop for a second. If you could, I don't know if you want to pull up to page 77 in that same page you got, the moderator, but you could do that. But I'm reading from the page now. Man has found it difficult to destroy a race of man, nor do I think that he has yet succeeded even in this. Still, it is a possible event apparently, but he has not yet succeeded in effecting it. To create a race of man or animals is entirely beyond his power. A Mexican nation may be formed by a protocol, a treaty, a victory. An illustrious robber may found a nation. An iron depot may chain together the free Saxon and the Slavic pre-Russians. Another may yoke in common chains in Slovenia, and the Germans, the Italians, and the Hun. But will such things have permanence? No, and that's the question. No. So basically saying right here that the American Indians weren't wiped out. They were still here. And the Europeans documented were the ones that were getting sick by the tropical climate of the West Indies and the Central America, which includes the southern states of the United States, which most Black people comes from. Every Black person in the United States can trace their ancestry to the South. And the South is the West Indies. So by him saying that no race can be extinct, they tried, but it never happened. So the American Indians are still here on this planet. I'll yield my floor.
Let me know when you're ready, Sean.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. So I want to, it's 10 minutes, right?
Yes. First round, 10 minutes.
Okay, you can start my time.
Okay, now.
All right, so real quick before I even get into my bill, it says, when the best blood of Spain migrated to America, they killed as many of the natives, that is the copper-colored Indians, indigenous to the soil, as they could. So you're talking about not wiping out populations or not doing this, that, and the third. Robert Knox, who is a advocate for scientific racism, says on page 53 of his book, which you did not read, that when the best blood of Spain migrated to America, the best of the Spanish, they killed as many of the natives, that is the copper-colored Indians, indigenous to the soil, as they could. But this cannot go on, laborers to till the soil being required. So let me get into my presentation real quick, but I just want to let it be known that that's when reading comprehension comes into play. So you should be able to see my screen right now as I am, should be presenting, well, full screen. There we go. So this is a teaching moment for Yodi, okay? And we're going to kill him today, and then we'll resurrect him on tomorrow. All right. So I want to ask everyone to set aside your biases and dislikes for me on both sides of the argument and focus on the debate topic, the research questions. And my typo is here, of course, but were black people that look like you and I in the Americas before the arrival of Columbus? If you've already answered the question, you have disqualified yourself from arguing the point, which will require levels of evidence to prove your position. If you have removed your emotions and feelings from the topic, then you can answer the next question. What evidence would be required to argue the research question either way? And can that evidence refute your original argument and position you chose to argue first? This is the challenge that we all should face when attempting to conduct unbiased research, which requires us to be honest in our conclusions, which can't be our hypothesis. Here, feelings and emotions are not considered evidence and can't be used to answer the research question, which have significant historical ramifications. My methodology, as I said earlier, I'll be using firsthand accounts, descriptions from Columbus' arrival to the Americas, as well as others that describe who the people were, and the genetic data to support who the people were Columbus encountered. So here's the research questions again. Not going to read them. I'm going to get into all of that, and I'm going to switch screens on the last one. So Yodi, like many others, has a belief that the existence of black people who look like you and me has been in the Americas for a long time. Some argue even before the first people. Yodi's independent research has led him astray. In his own words, he stated that his argument is one he recently discovered and that he's not going to act like he's an expert. However, this tends to be a trending topic for people like Yodi and others who hold a position that opposes the evidence. This notion of being somewhere evidence doesn't place us tends to follow a trend set by early European settlers as they begin to colonize the world. Most people, like Yodi, are only now regurgitating this misinformation, afraid to acknowledge their true selves. This could be due to a lack of education, self-hatred, a need for attention, or purely financial motivation. What we are going to hear argued by Yodi, what we have heard from Yodi, will be extreme guesswork, a lack of comprehension, and nothing more than mythological rhetoric. This would be due to several key factors mentioned above. Oh, my bad. Columbus's account. We're going to look at several of Columbus's account, and then we're just going to end this shit early. Okay? On October 11th of 1492, Columbus, in the Journal of Columbus, states this: their hair is short and coarse, almost like the hairs of a horsetail. They wear their hairs brought down to their eyebrows, except a few locks behind, which they wear long and never cut. They paint themselves black, and they are the color of the Canarians, neither black nor white. Some paint themselves white, others red, and others of what color they find. Some paint their faces, others their whole body. Some only round the eyes, others only on the nose. All my sources in the description of the video. Don't worry. Okay, a continuing account. This is the same day, but in a different paragraph. The hair is not only curly, but loose and coarse, like horsehair. And all the forehead is broad, more so than any other people I have hitherto seen. Their eyes are very beautiful and not small, and themselves far from black, but the color of Canarians. This is twice that he mentions on October 11th what these people are look like. He's given us a description based on his knowledge of what the Canarians look like. Nor should anything else be expected, as this island is in the line east and west from the islands of Hero in the Canaries. Their legs are very straight, all in one line, and no belly, but very well formed. More Columbus accounts. They are not black as in Guinea, though their hair is straight and coarse, as it does not grow where the sun rays are too ardent. And in truth, the sun has extreme power here, since it is within 26 degrees of the equatorial line. Now he's giving you an explanation of why they would even have some type of melanated skin to protect themselves from the damn sun. Another account.
What he's doing is, I hate when these niggas debate and they repeat, oh, he just said this and he just said that, but he don't even attack the point. All they do is repeat as it and with the emphasis as if what you're saying is wrong.
Okay, they are not worse looking,
weak ass PowerPoint
than the others. Except this is regarding. If you just continue to read, this is where people stop. They don't get to this point in the determining what Columbus is saying. They are not worse looking than the others, except that they wear their hair long like women and use bows and arrows of the same cane, with a sharp stick at the end for want lack of iron, of which they have none. They are ferocious compared to the other races, who are extremely cowardly, but I only hear this from the others. They are said to make treaties of marriage with the women in the first isle to be met with coming from Spain to the Indies, where there are no men. Let's continue these accounts. Those women have no feminine occupation, but use bows and arrows of cane like those before mentioned, and cover and arm themselves with the plates of copper, of which they have a great quantity. Another island, I am told, is larger than Hispaniola, where the natives have no hair.
2
and
minutes.
Where there is countless gold, and from all of them I bring Indians to testify to this. This is perfect. Another account. They go as naked as when their mothers bore them, and so do the women. Although I did not see more than one young girl, all I saw were the youths, none more than 30 years of age. They are very well made, with very handsome bodies and very good countenance. Their hair is short and coarse, almost like the hairs of a horse tail. Remember that, horse tail. They wear the hairs brought down to their eyebrows, except a few locks behind them, which they wear long and never cut. They paint themselves black, and they are the color of Canarians, neither black nor white. Some paint themselves white, others red, and others whatever color they find. This is a continuum from the last paragraph, but coming from a different source. So over and over, these same notions are reminding us that they look like the Canarians and that they paint themselves black. So I'm gonna end this first round like this, and then I'm gonna end right here, Mika. I'm gonna end right here, and then I'm gonna pick up.
You had 30 seconds, but okay.
I'm good. So Yodi, what am I picking up? What am I pulling up?
All right, P, you yielding the floor?
Yeah. Hold on,
Yeah.
I'm down.
Right.
I'm downloading your source that you
Okay.
see, the story Atlantis, Los Lemiru. That's what you want me to show?
Page 22. Page 22.
Hold on 1 second. Who's the author for the source that you want the people
Walter
to
Scott. Walter Scott. The book was published in 1910, I think.
Can you see the screen, Yodi?
Yeah, I can see it. Can you go to page 22?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Melvin, how's that on your eyes, bro?
It looks like
All right. This page 22?
Yeah, page 22. I'm gonna start from 22 all the way down.
What it say? What's the first word?
This Sean P versus the Aboriginal bro Yodi Jones. Yodi Jones giving them that work.
I'm
This nigga Sean P coming with the most pseudo Pan-African rhetoric.
I'm getting my sources that the original people were Negroes. The people before Columbus are Negroes. That's what I'm going to get from these pages, 22 all the way down.
Okay, well, what's the first word in the paragraph?
Ethnological types. My bad. I can't read.
Oh, okay. So you're starting from right here.
Yeah,
Ethnological.
I'm starting from right there, and I'm gonna go all the way down, but I'm gonna read from my copy on my phone.
All right, make it start this time when he's ready.
Okay, this is round 2. I'm gonna start when you're ready.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, round 2. I'm going to start with etymology. I'm going to use etymology to prove my point. And what's my point? That the American Indians were called different names. The first name, the American Indians, and when I mean American Indians, I mean the Afro-American, the Afro-Caribbean, and the Afro-Latino, which is 100 million of us in the Americas. I'm going to say again, the Afro-American and the Afro-Caribbean and the Afro-Latino, which are the same American Indians, are 100 million strong in the American landmass. I'm going to prove that the people before Columbus came were Black or Negro people. And let me add this before I get into the book. Indians, when you say Indians, Indians can be Asiatic. Indians could be red copper skin Indians. Indians can also later on in the 18th century become Native Americans or Europeans. The Indians is not the Indians could be only inhabitants and not just inhabitants, but also original people of the Americas. That's what we talking about. No claim to Africa. Okay, let's get into the book. Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. Start reading. Y'all hear me?
You're good.
All right. Ethnological types. Atlantis. And let me say here right now, all this pseudo shit, kick that shit out the window. I'm my fault for cursing. All this pseudo crap, kick that out the window. Atlantis was known as the Americas. The descendants of Atlantis are the Americans. So in this book, Walter Scott says, Atlantis, as we shall see, is said to have been inhabited by red, yellow, white, and black races. I'm going to repeat that. Atlantis / America, as we shall see, is said to have been inhabited by red, yellow, white, and black races. It is now proved by the researchers of Le Plaion, Augustus Replepion, and one of those, I'm going to interject here. Le Plaion is another book that I put on the sources on the notes that I put earlier in my introduction. He wrote the book, The Queen of Mu and the Egyptian Sphinx. And that book that he wrote in the early 1900s, even though it says Egyptian Sphinx, it ain't talking about Africa. It's talking about the Americas. Okay, let me continue. Dequatrafagis, Bancroft, and others that black populations of the Negroid type existed even up to recent times in America. I'm gonna repeat that whole first introduction. So, because I know I'm talking to laymen, they're not really scholars. So let me repeat this so you get it clear. Atlantis, as we shall see, is said to have been inhabited by the red, yellow, white, and black races. It is now proved by the researchers of Le Plaion, De Quattrafagis, Bancroft, and others that black populations of Negroid type existed even up to recent times in America. Many of the monuments of Central America are decorated with Negro faces, and some of the idols found there are clearly intended to represent Negroes. I'm going to say again. Many of the monuments of Central America are decorated with Negro faces, and some of the idols found there are clearly intended to represent Negroes with small skulls, short woolly hair, and thick lips. Pause. The Popol Vuh, speaking of the first home of the Guatemalan race, we ain't even talking about North America, we talking about South America now, says that black and white men together lived in this happy land in great peace, speaking one language And the reason why I chose this book,
He cooking his ass a
because
little
it
bit.
brings sources with it. Quote in the comments, it says he cites the source right here.
Yeah, I'm about to put a poll in the
C.
chat. Y'all let me know
Bancroft,
who
Native
y'all
Race,
think
is
with him.
page 547. You don't
Yodi
even use the
Jones,
page. Go look
Aboriginal,
up,
or
motherfucker.
Sean P. Pan
Pause.
Y'all
I
let
ain't
me
mean
know.
to curse. I'm sorry. I just get excited when talking about my ancestry. The Popol Vuh goes on to relate how people migrated from the ancestral home, how their language became altered, and how some went to the east. The east ain't the Oriental the east, while others travel west to Central America. Ain't say nothing about Africa. It says Negro. And now let me stop there. Let's go into the etymology of Negro. Can I cut my time real fast? Because P, can you bring up the definition of Negro on your page?
Okay. I paused the time. Just let me know when you're ready.
Go to Etymolon. This is my source, P. Go to Etymolon. You know Etymolon. We're going to etymology. We're going to look up the word Negro. We're going to look up the word Black. We're going to look up the word American. We're going to look up the 1828 definition of American. That's what we're looking up. And then we're going to go to looking up mulatto. We're going to look up mestizo. And we're going to look up the word Caucasian. So the first word I want you to look up, P, if you would, is Negro in the etymology dictionary.
Okay, I see it.
I'm gonna give you time to do that, P. Thank you.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I see it. I'm gonna give you time to do that. Thank you.
Let me know when you're ready.
You on mute, Yodi.
Okay. All right, P, I got you. You can start my
Okay.
time right now.
All right.
How much time
now.
I got left before you start?
You got 5 minutes and 31 seconds.
All right, you can start my time now.
Okay.
All right. So let me pull up Negro on my phone. So I'll just read it off my phone. On the same Etymolon app as
You're
P
going
got.
to get kicked off if you read it from your phone. Could you please look at the screen?
All right.
I'll pause it again. Let me know when you're ready.
P, I'm good, P. Trust me, be good, P. I got you, P. If I get kicked off, at least you got it on. I'm gonna get right back on. Don't worry about it, P. You ain't going nowhere, right? So you good, P. Just as long as they got, I just want people to see. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm going on. That's all, P. So you good. Just give me 1 second, P. I got you. You good? You ain't got to stop the time.
Okay, I'm starting back the time. Let's go.
I got you. All right. Give me 1 second, y'all.
Do you want me to pause it? Because it's still going.
No, you good. You good. Don't worry about it. I got it. I got it right now. Okay. Y'all hear me? Negro, 1550s. That's the origin of the word in the 1500s. Ain't that the same time the Atlantic slave trade and the Arab slave trade was going on? Okay. 1550s is a noun. First of all, let me say Negro is a noun now, but originally it was an adjective. And the reason why I say it's an adjective because you got to pay attention to etymology and words. And people don't do that, and that's where they get lost. That's why I mentioned that. But let me continue. Member of a black skin race of Africa, from Spanish or Portuguese Negro, black, from Latin negrum, nominative niger, black, dark, sable, dusky, applied to the night sky or a storm, the complexion, figuratively, gloomy, unlucky, bad, wicked. According to the Van, a word of unknown etymology, I'm going to say again. According to the Van, a word of unknown etymology. So, nigga, people say the Portuguese started the word, but Van is saying, nah, they don't know where they come from. They just got it. Okay, continue. According to Watkins, perhaps the Pi word is neckwit or night. Latin word also was applied to the black peoples of Africa. I guess I'm gonna start over that way. That one. The Latin word also was applied to the black peoples of Africa. Also applied, because we all know that the Portuguese started calling the Brazilian Indians Negro. And then it was applied to the Africans in the 18th century. Wasn't before. Because according to
You
African
got 2 minutes.
okay, yeah. According to Pan-Africans, they was called Africans in 1782. But the Atlantic slave trade started way before 1782. 1782 was right before the U.S. Constitution in 1789. So how was y'all called African in 1782, but y'all claim that y'all from Africa? Your heritage starts from the African slave trade. So but Columbus, we know Columbus called the Indians as soon as he saw them. He didn't wait till 30 years later to call them Indians. He called them Indians right away. So how we mistaken Negro for African when African was given the term to Negroes in the Americas? I'm talking about in the Americas, I'm not talking about Africa. In the Americas by 1782. So why they waited 140 years to call us, or technically call us, Africans in 1782? And when I say Africans, I mean Afro-Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, and we all Africans. So why did they take that long to call us Africans? That don't make no sense, because Christopher Columbus called the Aboriginal copper-skinned Indians of the Americas Indians. He ain't wait till 200 years to call us Indians, right? That's number one. How much time I got left, moderator?
You got 30 seconds.
Boom. Let me say this, because I'm gonna bring most of my topics on the freestyle when we freestyle. My proof on the freestyle, but Negro is an adjective, and what they did was they made adjectives and turned it into nouns, and that's how we fucked up, because we forgot what 3rd grade elementary school
Time.
taught us. Okay, got you. I use the floor.
All right, so he wanted to read the definition of Negro so bad, but he wanted to run past the black-skinned race of Africa, which is in his.
Okay, we gotta start your time. This is 2nd round.
Yeah, like,
Let me
bro.
know when you're ready.
Go ahead, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the very first few words of his own etymology online, it tells you members of a black-skinned race of Africa. So I'm not dealing with that shit no more. I'm coming right back to my own shit. Excuse me. Where we left off at was giving personal accounts of Christopher Columbus, which is the reason for this discussion. We're talking about what we hear before the arrival of the Spanish. When Columbus gives his account, he has already excluded 2 things. They are not black nor white, but look like the Canaries. So that was on October the 11th. Here, Saturday on the 13th, this is what Columbus says in the journal. At daybreak, great multitudes of men come to shore, all young and fine shapes, very handsome. Their hair not curled, but straight, and coarse like horse hair. Remember, everyone he identifies has coarse hair, like a horse, all with foreheads and heads much broader than any other people I hitherto seen. Their eyes were large and very beautiful. They were not black, but the color of the inhabitants of the Canaries, which is a very natural circumstance. They being in the same altitude with the island of Faroe in the Canaries. They were straight-limbed without exception, and not with prominent bellies, but handsomely shaped. So we have repeated accounts where Columbus's journal is consistently saying that they are neither black nor white, and they look like the Canaries, and their hair is coarse, and it looks like horse hair. So we're going to take a look at 3 images. Who are the Canaries in this particular photo? I will cut it short and I will help you out with this. One is a Taino. That is the female on the far right-hand side, which would be who Columbus encounters. In the middle are the people in northern Africa area, or the what we want to say Berber looking like Canaries. They want to say that modern in that sense in the middle because they have more European admixture in them. To the left would be the indigenous, who they would see. So when Christopher Columbus is giving his accounts of these Canaries, they look like the Canaries, they look like the Canaries. He is drawing on the two on the outside. He is saying that the Canaries, that these people that he comes across, looks like the first and the third picture. Clear as day. We can read the account again and he will say it. Now, Native American genetic ancestry and pigmentation allele contributions to skin color in the Caribbean population. In this scientific study, our interest in genetic basis of skin color variations between populations lead us to seek a Native American population with genetically African admixture below frequency of European light skin alleles. Analysis of 458 genomes from individuals residing in the Calango territory of the Commonwealth of Dominica showed approximately 55% Native American, 32% African, and 12% European genetic ancestry, the highest Native American genetic ancestry among the Caribbean populations to date. Skin pigmentation ranged from 20 to 80 melanin units, averaging 46. 3 albino individuals were determined to be the homozygous for causative multinucleotide polymorphisms, OCA2, contained within a haplotype of an African origin. Its allele frequency was 0.03 and a single allele effect size was 8 melanin units. Derived allele frequencies of the SL24A5 and the SL45A2, which are genes, ladies and gentlemen, that just been identified, the OCA2, the SLs, are all gene related, and the reason why skin tones and eyes and hair expressions do these things. Now, with single allele effects of -6 and -4 respectively, Native American genetic ancestry by itself reduced pigmentation by more than 20 melanin units, range between 24 and 29. We're talking skin color. The responsible hypopigmenting genetic variants remain to be identified since none of the published polymorphisms predicted in prior literature to affect skin color in Native Americans cause detectable hyperpigmentation in the Calango. I went over some of y'all heads, but we just talking they shade, why they ain't so black, why they ain't so white, right? They're not black nor white. We are qualifying Columbus's accounts. That's what we're doing right now. We got an account, we got this image in our head, now we're qualifying the why. The Caribbean was one of the last regions of the Americas to be settled in the first place. But where they came from and how when they reached the island remained unclear. We generated genome-wide data for 93 ancient Caribbean islanders dating between 3,200 and 400 calibrated years before the present and found evidence of at least 3 separate dispersals into the region, including 2 early dispersals into the Western Caribbean, one which seemed to connect the radiation events in North America. This was allowed by a later expansion in South America. We also detected genetic differences between the early settlers and newcomers from South America, and with almost no evidence of admixture. Our results add to our understanding of the initial peopling of the Americas and the movement of archaic age people in the Americas. We're going to give y'all some history lessons real quick. Genomic insights into the early peopling of the Caribbeans. Archaeological evidence suggests that the people first moved in the Caribbeans around 8,000 years ago. Apart from Trinidad, which is located closer to the American mainland, the earliest securely dated archaeological sites in the region were around 5,000 years ago and are located to Barbados, Cuba, Curaçao, and St. Martin, followed by sites in Hispaniola and Puerto Rico. These locations at these sites suggest that the early settlers took long and rapid leaps of exploration across the Caribbean Sea. As a result, there is no gradual wave of advance that would point backward to a single point of origin. I can't believe we're doing this. The mtDNA data revealed clear differences in haplogroup frequencies between the individuals from the two contexts. Although most individuals from Cuba, 3,200 to 700 calibrated, carry haplogroups D1 and C1d, these haplogroups are less common in individuals from ceramic-related contexts, including those reported in previous studies. Overall, mtDNA diversity is higher among ceramic-aged individuals with haplogroups B2, C1b, C1c specific to these groups to explore the differences at a genome-wide level. Basically, what I am saying to Yodi and everyone else of the belief that you've been in the Americas, and we're dealing specifically with the Caribbeans, which is our first attested account from European settlers at the hands of AKA Columbus. I am showing you that if you do believe that you are indigenous to the Americas, your genome would, your genotype, your haplogroup, let me say it correctly, you have possess one of the haplogroups that I am mentioning here. Let me walk down his 2 minutes because we have his account. Now, the Caribbean was the last parts of the Americas to be settled by humans. I want you to get that in your mind. But how and when the islands were first occupied remains a matter of debate. Ancient DNA can help answering these questions. Making up stories, reading mythological books does not answer the question. DNA does. We report that the genome sequence of a 1,000-year-old Lacayan Taino individual recovered from the site of Preacher's Cave. I gave you a site location and a person that they found that was in the Bahamas. She was sequenced 12.4-fold coverage and shows that she is genetically most closely related to present-day Arawakan speakers from northern South America, suggesting that the ancestors of the Lucayans originated there. Further, we find no evidence of recent inbreeding or isolation in the ancient genome, suggesting that the Lucayans had a relatively large, effective, population size. So, in short, we know who the Taino was. When I showed you that lady in those two pictures, we know exactly what they look like. We are qualifying the accounts of Christopher Columbus, which is in historical record and the only account that we have to argue. I don't even want to get into William Scott Elliott, who is linked up with Madame Blavatsky and every damn thing else he got going on. I'm going to yield my time back because I have dealt with the research questions and I'm going to enter it, switching my presentation.
Time.
Stop sharing. Where you at, Yodi? What we doing?
Right here, P.
Hey, make sure y'all hit the like button.
Yeah, okay, this is the third round, last round, 10 minutes. Just let me know when you're ready.
Okay. I'm P. We ain't got to stop the time, but as I go along, we still gonna stick on Etymolon. So if I say a word, you could just pull it up on that app, and then that's how you could show the people what I'm talking about. All right, P.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. So the next word.
Okay, you
is
said you
black.
don't want me stopping the time.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Don't start this time till I pull it up.
I got you, P. Black.
And if he switch words,
BLACK.
and if he switch words, just wait 10 seconds. Or give him 10
Matter
seconds.
of fact, yo, P. First of all, P. I'm gonna go on the word black, but leave Negro up there because you didn't finish the definition.
I don't need to finish the definition.
No, I'm gonna finish it for you.
I know. I don't need you to finish.
Okay.
Bro,
No,
We're not talking back and forth. Just pull up the stuff.
Just leave the word Negro up there right now, and then when I'm finished with Negro, pull up the word black on the same app, on the same website you on right now. All right, P. So leave it up there for right now. I'm gonna read from the same app from my phone, and then you can start the time, Miss. You can start the time, Miss, whenever you're ready.
Okay, starting now.
All right. So we're gonna stick to etymology. Etymology is very important. It's part of linguistics, which is language which ties empires and countries. I know people in the chat don't know the difference between empires and countries. They think it's the same thing, but I'm going to get to that later. Do we have a freestyle round? Moderator? Moderator, do we have a
Yeah.
freestyle round?
Freestyle, the last after this one probably.
Okay, got you. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna bring that up in a freestyle round. I could just, jumping back and forth in facts and sources. But this round, we're gonna still focus on etymology. So Negro, let me finish the term Negro that my opposition, Mozzie Clan warrior representative Sean P didn't finish for y'all. Okay. Same app, same Etymoline app. I suggest people go to that app to find out the definition of words. It says here, as an adjective, the same word Negro, the definition of the word Negro, as an adjective from 1590s, used with a capital N. And you remember when I said before that they turn adjectives to nouns? This is proof right here. I'm going to start over. As an adjective from 1590s, the word Negro, used with a capital N. And when you put capital N to words, it becomes noun. Doesn't mean that was the original word as a noun. What messed us up as black people, when I mean black people, quote unquote, and people might disagree. When I say black people, I mean Afro-Americans, Afro-Caribbean, and Afro-Latinos. People might disagree with me, but I stand on what I'm saying to you, right? That means that Negro was a small capital N in the beginning. That means it's an adjective, it's not a noun. It became an N, so let me finish the paragraph. As an adjective from 1590s, used with a capital N became general early 20th century. I'm gonna say it again. As an adjective, the word Negro from the 1590s, used with a capital N, when they turned it into a noun, became general, meaning that the average black, colored, melanated people they took it as an identity as a Negro. They Negroes now. First, it was an adjective. In the 20th century, example, 1930 in New York Times style book, in reference to U.S. citizens of African descent, but because of its perceived association with white imposed attitudes and roles, the words was ousted late 1960s in the sense by black. What does that mean? That means that they took adjectives and they became nouns. And nouns is the identity of ethnicity. America is a noun. Indian is a noun. The word Negro is an adjective originally. The word black is an adjective originally. You understand? Africa is a noun because it's the name of Northern Africa. And Northern Africa consists of, in those times, in the slavery time, the same Pan-Africans claim this African BS, right? They claiming that they're African, the peoples came on a slave ship, pissing and ishing on each other for 30 days, because that's how long it took back in those days to come across the Atlantic, and drop y'all off, and some died, some survived. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm not going to mention his name, but the opposite, you know what I'm saying? The guy, DC, Dane Calla, whatever, the opposition of the Pan-Africans, he beautifully proved that the slaves, even the ships that they claim that they used to bring us over here was falsehood. Cargo ships wasn't invented in the 1850s. The slave trade started in the 1600s when the British took over. It started before, but it escalated when the British Empire took over the Americas. So what are we talking about? We are using adjectives to claim our ethnicity. We're using misnomers to claim our ethnicity. And if you're gonna base your whole African heritage on a slave ship story, you're a goddamn idiot. I'm gonna keep it clear. And I love everybody on this panel. Sean P, I got the utmost respect for you. Utmost respect, bro. Your channel is the best channel on YouTube. I ain't gonna lie, because this topic that we're discussing is the most important topic that Black people all over the Americas should be discussing. But we don't. It's just you. So you are a blessing to us as Black person. I'm not here to disrespect your ideology as a Pan-African. I'm assuming. I'm not. You never said you were Pan-African. I'm just giving you that term. That's how I put you. I'll put you just like y'all put me in the Abo section. I'm putting you in the Pan-African section. I'm a Pan-American. And I believe that African Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, and Afro-Latinos are the real American Indians of the Americas, and they should be Pan-Americans and not Pan-Africans. We should be, I'm going to repeat that. We should be Pan-Americans and not Pan-Africans. We were always here. We were here before Columbus. And I want to get into the freestyle round because that's when I could jump back and forth to facts and sources. I just touched 2 of my sources. Remember, on my notes, I brought 17 sources. I only touched 2. So the freestyle round, we're going to jump back into the rest of the sources I got to prove my argument. I didn't even get into the Arab slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade yet. And I'm gonna wait till the freestyle round to get into that. We're still focusing on my first argument that I posed, or you know what I'm saying, my first premise for my argument, which is the Aboriginal American Indians are the Afro-Americans, the Afro-Latinos, and the Afro-Caribbeans of the Americas. That's who the Aboriginal Americans are. And those Aboriginal Americans are mixed with the European and the Asiatic tribes that migrated to the Americas. I said Asiatic and European. I ain't say African. And that's multiple observable proof to prove this. We speak European languages. We practice European culture. Not one of us speak African languages. How you claiming African when you speak no goddamn? Your mother never spoke an African language. Your grandmother never spoke an African language. But you're given a narrative of the out of Africa narrative and the slave trade. You base your whole history on a slave
2 minutes.
How many minutes?
2 minutes.
Okay. You base your whole heritage on the slave trade. Now, my opposition, Sean P., didn't dispute what I said in the last round. When I read from a source that says that the Indians were yellow, red, white, and black and Negroid. He didn't dispute that. He didn't say one word to prove that. He was just babbling. Because he's a Pan-African and I am a Pan-American. I support the people of North America and South America. I believe the U.S. empire is the greatest empire on the planet. And I also believe that the U.S. empire should also take over the whole Caribbean. Fuck it. Not just Puerto Rico. Take Haiti. Take Cuba. And take Jamaica too. But we are Americans. And I also believe that if any black person in the Americas born generations, not just you, but your grandmother, your great-grandmother born in the Americas, and you're claiming African, you're officially claiming you're a foreign national to the Americas. You're a foreign national, and you have a dual citizenship. So if any black person, generational, that was born in the Americas, their grandma was born in the Americas, and what I mean, North and South and Central, and you're claiming that your ancestry came from Africa off a slave trade story that you learned through education, through the board of education of the school system, you're an idiot. Now you my time.
Okay. 9 minutes and 47 seconds. Okay. Sean, just let me know when you're ready. This is the round 3, your last round.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Let me start it. Okay, just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, give me a second. Unlike my opponent, I'm gonna stick to the debate topic. I ain't gonna take you on no long thing, and I'm not gonna argue with a pseudo-ass book about Atlantis. Slide 61. Okay. Can you see this?
Yes.
I'm gonna make sure it's bigger. Yeah, wait till it's bigger. Okay, you can see it.
No. You want to impress? Oh, let me stop your time. You want it in presentation mode? Like, oh yeah, now you're good. You're good. Whenever you start talking, I'll start it back.
I have it in
Yes, you do. You good?
presentation mode. Let me know. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, so the first blacks in the Americas. Okay, the first person of African descent known to have arrived in La Española in modern
Wait,
times
it's
was
choppy. Am I the only one?
Juan Marino or
You're choppy.
Juan Petro or
Yeah,
John
Sean,
Black,
you're choppy.
a free, by all indications, young
Oh, he can't hear
black
us.
man who accompanied Columbus as a
Yeah, just stop his time.
servant in
And,
the
Yeah, I stopped that, but he still can't.
1492 and
Somebody call her.
1493 expeditions. And years later, after Columbus' passing, and as more mature man under the name colonization of Central America. Mika, can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you now. You were lagging.
Okay.
Yeah, you were choppy. So start all over.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna start over. I just need this paragraph. So
Okay.
the first person of African descent known to have arrived in La Española in modern times was Juan Marino or Juan Petro John Black, a free by all indications young black man who accompanied Columbus as a servant in 1492 and 1493. And years later, after Columbus passed,
You keep
as more of a
choppy.
mature man under the name of Juan Portuguese, engaged in the colonization of Central America. During the 2 decades that followed, there were cases of other free blacks of both sexes. When did it get out? Hold on.
I think when you go
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think when you go full screen, it gets like extra time.
Yeah, because I can hear it too. Hold on. Let me just not go full screen. I'm just only using one real quick. I don't need to go nowhere else. Basically,
Right.
my point in talking about this is that Juan is the first black in the Americas. If Juan is a black man, ends up in a country where there's other black people, Juan would be the direct evidence of black presence in the Americas. Juan testified in court against Columbus. They had him testify because of some atrocities and claims that went about and Columbus's son. See, this is what people don't really talk about, but yet they spill his name over and over. And I probably still sound okay. But hold on, y'all can't see my screen, can you?
We can see your screen, but it's not in presentation. But you're good. Okay, you sound.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't need to go to presentation mode. So by the summer of 1501, there is a firm evidence of the Spanish monarchs were already considering using the labor of enslaved blacks in the colonization of La Española. And seen in the instructions by the Catholic kings on September 16th of the year to newly appointed governor of La Española, Nicolas de Ovando, before he was dispatched to the colony. Item 21 of these instructions orders Ovando to prevent the arrival in the Indies of non-Christians, but to allow blacks as well as non-slaves that had been born under the power of Christians. You will not allow or cause to go there either Moors or Jews or heretics or reconciled ones of a person newly covenanted to our faith, except if they were black slaves or other slaves who had been born under the power of Christians who are our subjects and natives. Ladies and gentlemen, basically what I just said is under the instructions of Ovando, who was given his permission by his kinship, he is telling you that there were no black presence in the Americas. Why? Because if they were going to use labor by black people, it had to come from somewhere, and it came from Africa. There were non-blacks that were used as slave labor. They wanted blacks. We don't have to keep running this muck. I'm staying on topic. Were black people in America before the arrival of the European? And based on Columbus's account and the genetic evidence, we do not see a presence. And this speaks to JJ. This speaks to all the abos, the Afrocentrists, and more. There was no presence of Africans in the Americas or a black person in the Americas, or however Yodi wants to self-identify. This isn't an argument about feelings. This isn't an argument about beliefs, because time and time again, throughout his rounds, he continued to say, this is my belief, this is my position, this is my belief, this is my position. Where is the evidence? Using an etymological fallacy to argue against a topic that is pinpoint is crazy to me. However, historian Luis Gil Fernandez was the first to publicize the story of Juan Portuguese. The first recorded mention of Juan Portuguese presence in the Americas is a deposition from the 1500s generated as part of the trial launched against Christopher Columbus on behalf of the crown by the newly appointed governor of La Española, Francisco de Bobadilla, found by the archivist Isabel Aguirre and studied by historian Consuelo Varela Bueno, where the man is identified as Juan Marino or Juan Petro. Y'all got that? Follow this. The original manuscript, Pesquisa de Bobadilla, is in the section Incorporado Juris of Archivo General de Semacas, page 178. The mention of Juan Marino, info 14 of the original manuscript, page 207 of Varela's edition, says this Spanish shit at the bottom that I can't read. So I'm not even gonna get into that. But it is an English translation that actually breaks this down, and it says the first mentions of black persons traveling to with Columbus that were aware of the Caribbeans. Y'all, I'm gonna say this again. In the English language scholarship, the first mention of a black person traveling with Columbus that we are aware of is The Caribbean, A History of the Region and Its Peoples, edited by Stephen Palmi and Francisco A. Scarano, Chicago, London, and University of Chicago Press published. That's where you're gonna get your first account. Now, I'm not gonna get too far into teeth. I'm not gonna get too far into bones or none of that shows when Africans first arrived, because there's burial sites that actually are indicated and studies done that prove this. I've done this before on a previous bill. This is why I don't want to have this particular topic. I just wanted to hear Yodi out. However, based on the evidence presented in this presentation, according to the research topic, were the black people in the Americas before the arrival of the Europeans, or you could say Columbus, I don't care what you say. The only accounts that we have are in journals that document the European presence. And in that, let me stop. I need to reshare. Hold on one second. And in that, we have a consistent theme. In that consistent theme, and I ain't even going back to genetics. In that consistent theme, we have this right here, a description of what these people looked like. We don't need to go no further than this. They are not black as the any, though their hair is straight and coarse, as it does not grow where the sun rays are too ardent. Let's go to another. Their hair is not curly, but loose and coarse, like horsehair. And all of their forehead is broad, more so than any other people I have hitherto seen. Their eyes are very beautiful and not small, and themselves far from black, but the color of Canarians. Their hair is short and coarse, almost like the hairs of a horsetail. They wear the hairs brought down to their eyebrows, except a few locks behind, which they wear long and never cut. They paint themselves black, and they are the color of Canarians, neither black nor white. I don't know who Yodi is claiming to be at all, because every single account that we have in showing the first blacks, in showing who these people look like, ain't us. He simply gave us a rendition of what we could see and an indication of horsehair. How many black people you know that look like Yodi and myself? It's very minute, and they are admixed if they do. That looks like they got horsehair. I ain't talking about y'all putting weave in your head. That ain't it. I ain't talking about y'all that are mixed, they got 30 or 40%. You can do all the sending you want to send, Yodi. You ain't this. This lady is who is described in every account that we've read and translation from different authors on the journals of Christopher Columbus that was written as the 10 accounts to tell us who they saw. There's no other accounts that predate the Columbus accounts. Every other edition is the Spanish already bringing black people to the Americas. I didn't want to get into the black, the Negro, and all of that because this is not an etymological argument. He wanted to make it that. My job is to deal with the first-hand accounts and provide the evidence that supports the first-hand accounts. So if the journal is saying this, the genetic studies are saying that, all the other stuff is pure rhetoric. I don't have to respond to it. If you want to be that irresponsible to show a pseudo source about Atlantis, it's crazy.
Okay, I think he wants to have a freestyle. I don't know how many minutes y'all want with that, or if y'all want to do that. Did he fall off? Is he still here?
I'm here.
Nah,
Yeah, I think he wants something like a Q&A, like rapid fire type of thing.
Yeah,
Where,
and it's
like-
gonna flow. I ain't mean to cut y'all off, but it's gonna flow. You know, we're gonna still stick to the topic, but it's gonna flow into question A. Freestyle meaning like I could jump from sources to source. I just wanted to keep on topic with what he was coming with, but freestyle where we could refute each other, we could refute each other's premises freely on a
Okay,
freestyle level.
that's
what I'm
fine.
talking
But
about.
how many minutes do y'all want?
It's up
Yeah,
to
let's do-
y'all. Listen,
Yeah, let's do
it's
10
up to
minutes.
y'all decide.
10 minutes of questioning, answering dialogue. We could do that for both.
So both they're gonna go back and forth for 10 minutes, right?
Right, but one person, like Yodi, goes first, so he does the questioning, and then Sean has to answer or
Okay, gotcha.
explain. So, yep.
Can I say something? I just want to say, y'all asked me the question, now I answer. I'd rather that.
No. It's got to be fair.
You're fine.
Okay,
You're
okay,
fine.
all right. Whatever y'all want.
Just let me know when you're ready.
I'll go first.
Yeah, you could go first.
All right. So let's
Now.
get it. Let's get it.
Ask your
Okay, go
question.
ahead. We're gonna ask your question, whatever you want to do. You got 10 minutes.
Got you.
We're gonna ask your question, whatever you want to do. You got 10 minutes.
Nika mute. You echoing. And Yodi, you on mute.
I got you, P.
Unmute your mic, bro.
So,
Can you
Yodi,
unmute your mic?
Yoda, you got any questions for Sean?
I got plenty of questions for Sean, but
All
I'm
right,
trying to
this
wait
is
on
your
y'all. I want to
time.
chat. I want people to now give me an analysis of what you heard for the last 2 hours.
Well, we'll do that at the end. But for right now,
Yeah. Did you say
Hey,
you
hold
want to
on,
do some
hold on,
freestyle
hold
stuff?
on, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Just fill this time up for just 2 minutes. Well, really about 30 seconds.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to do the question and answer between you and Sean, Yodi, so that y'all two can get whatever it is out. You know, you can question him
Let me
about.
say something.
Hold on, you can question
Moderators, I
about
just
what
want
he
to
said
moderators.
and
You
then
just
stuff like that. We're gonna do that after you guys are done with the question and answer round.
okay, got you. So you want me to pose a question?
Yes,
yeah,
you
this
can
is
start.
this is your
Hold on.
time to
He said,
ask.
"Wait a second." He said,
ask
"Wait
some
a
questions.
second." That's why I was just
Oh,
talking.
yeah.
All right, so let me pose this question, right? Like I said before in the last rounds, my opposition, respectfully, Sean P hasn't refuted my sources when I said the Negro race was the American races. And he says pseudo. Yes, he says pseudo, but you could say pseudo all you want, but prove that it's pseudo. Prove that it's pseudo. That's my opening discourse.
You said that I didn't refute your sources. The problem is that you didn't ever prove anything using what you used. There was no sense in me refuting your sources. When you brought up the sources of the races of men, on page 53 of that, it told you exactly when you made the claim that they weren't killing off indigenous peoples, then your source turned around and said that they was killing indigenous peoples. When you start talking about that the Negroes are the race of men, or I mean, not the race of men, but the Negroes are the people that populated here. You never showed any evidence. You only made a claim. I'm going to let you and allow you to continue to make claims inside of your previous claim. You're the one that got to show the evidence for that, not me. You don't have to argue that you're claiming. You got to demonstrate that.
Okay, can I respond to that?
Sure.
Okay. Like I said, you haven't disputed anything I have said. And let me explain why. You said that extinction, right? Oh, you said they killed the Indians off. Killing people don't mean you extincted you people that are extinct. That's two different things. And that's what you're trying to push to your public.
The debate topic, but that's not the debate topic. The debate topic is
that's what you just said. You just said that. That's what you.
No, I understand. No, only reason that I said that is because your source said it itself. And so it's irrelevant. If I just sit here and let you argue what you argued and then put your source back on you, then I just would have been sitting there just trying to debunk everything you said, and I didn't care. I just needed to stay on topic. The topic was I asses in America before Columbus? It's not about if you're killing off an indigenous population. Because if that was the case, I would just show the evidence, right? Because we just went through a pandemic. And from 2019 up into 2021, 22, we just saw 1 million people die from COVID. So we know the germ disease is real. The evidence has been proven. This small thing that we can't see went from one person to another person to another person to another person and started clipping people left and right, while others will get mild symptoms, others will get severely sick and bounce back, all of that. We're dealing with that still today. So I don't have to show anything about that to know that that evidence exists. I just have to stay on topic. So I want to figure out what did you show today that proved that Black people were in America outside of your feelings?
Can I respond to that? I got the floor? Okay. First of all, bro, you just danced around my question. And second of all, I'm gonna start off with this. All right. My source, what I read, Walter Scott's Story of Lemuria, says that the original peoples of the Americas were red, white, yellow, and Negroid. Yes or no? Answer that. It's not a rhetorical question.
Continue.
Did I read that? Did I read that from my source earlier in the last round?
Do you want me to deal with your pseudo source, bro?
Just because you said pseudo doesn't mean pseudo, bro.
The book is about Atlantis. It's very pseudo. It's been debunked already. I don't know why the fuck you brought it up. It's not evidence. What evidence do you have?
Prove it.
Okay. So 3 years ago, there was a presentation done about this exact book debunking every fucking claim made in the book. It's outdated. It's written by an author who is linked to Madame Blavatsky. When them two ties are together, you already messed up. You don't know this. You need to research your author before
Can
you
you
quote
pull up
something.
this source? Can you pull up this source for the people to see?
Pull up what source, bro? You want me to go back to the
Just said a
presentation?
source. You just
Show
said
you what
a
a
source was
book-
created to debunk the source that I provided. Can you pull up that source that
That's
says
not
that 3
what
years
the
ago? That's what
debate
you
is
said,
not
right?
about that. You showed a source that's talking
It's
about
absolutely about that, P. What you talking about?
No, it's
You brought it up.
no,
If it's not about that, why you brought it up?
How? You asked me a question. You said why I didn't deal with this. Why the fuck I'm finna deal with a mythological book?
Because
Why?
it's important.
It's a mythological book, Yodi.
No, it's not.
It is.
Prove it.
Read the title of the book, The Story of Atlantis and the Lost Lemuria. What the fuck is that about, Yodi?
You know what's the name of you ever heard of Atlanta, Georgia? What's the word Atlanta come from?
That
Where
ain't
the
got
word
nothing.
Atlanta come from?
Atlanta, Georgia ain't got nothing to do with what I just
It
said.
absolutely does. I just asked you the question. Where does the word Atlanta comes from? Atlantis. That's
Are
where
you
it
sure?
comes from.
Are you sure, Yodi?
I'm positive.
Are you positive? Once again, you're making claims inside of claims and never showed any evidence for the claim.
I just did. Yo, P, I'm gonna give you the floor, but you're wrong. I just did show the source.
What source did you show? What evidence?
Atlantis source. The Atlantis source.
I asked you for evidence. Do you know what evidence is? It ain't just putting a source up and reading from a fucking mythological book. That's not a source.
But you brought up sources too. From a book.
I showed studies. I dealt
did the
with
same thing. I showed studies too.
No, what study did you show? I showed genetic studies of the people who inhabited the.
Bro, I showed you 2 of my sources. I didn't even finish I got 15 more sources to show.
Nigga, I got 60. What does it matter? I got at least 20.
It does matter, P. It does matter. Stop saying it doesn't matter. This is the most important subject to black people on the planet Earth. It does matter.
Do you know how to cross-reference a source? Do you? Do you know how to cross-reference a source?
Yes, I do.
Because in order to qualify the source, you have to cross-reference the source. You didn't even know the author. So you sitting over here, and I don't even want to do this to you.
Do it, P. Do it, P. Go ahead.
No, I don't want to do this to you. Because you have to learn that you can't come out here
to eliminate the opposition.
And put this white man on the screen.
So do it, P. Go ahead.
You can't come out here and put this white man on the screen who's a theosopist, and this look.
Where did you get your out of Africa theory from? From a white man, didn't you?
Amateur historian.
Didn't you get your out of Africa slave ship theory from a white man, bro?
Helen Blavatsky's concept of root races in several publications, most notably The Story of Atlantis and The Lost Lemuria in 1904, later combined into a 1925 into a single volume. He had
read who he is. Read it. Who is Walter Scott? Read that part.
It says it. What do you mean?
Who is he? What did he do as a man? Who was he as a man? Read that part.
He's a Scottish nobleman, a merchant banker.
Exactly. Right. He's a merchant banker. That means he has the funds to do the research, brother.
No, he don't.
He's a merchant banker. That means you say he don't got the funds to do the research?
No, it don't. That don't qualify him.
How a banker don't have the funds to do the research, P? You don't make no sense. You're contradicting yourself, bro.
Why is he talking about Atlantis? You got me spending 10 minutes with you.
I told you Atlantis was referred to as the Americas.
No,
That's what I said.
it ain't. It's not known. That's not even
That's cap, P. That's cap, P. That's bullshit. That's BS, P.
Atlantis is not an indigenous name of the Americas.
So what? Atlanta, Georgia. Why they name it Atlanta, Georgia? Atlanta is Atlantis. It's the same name. It comes from the. It's the same.
You
word.
know where Atlantis comes from?
Yes.
Where it comes from?
Go ahead. You got the floor, P. Go ahead.
No. Fuck my floor. Where does it come from?
You got 30 seconds.
Where it come from?
I just told you, P. From the Americas.
Where? No, it don't. You see the screen? The first mentioning of it is in a fictional island mentioned by Plato. It's Greek. Greek.
So is Plato a real scholar? Yes or no? The Europeans don't hold Plato as one of their premium scholars of the ancient Greek period, bro?
What are you time. It's Sean's time. Sean, you get 10 minutes up for question. When you're ready.
All right. In your argument, you claimed that Black people were in the Americas. Where is the oldest bones found that belong to Black people in America?
You asking me that question, P?
Yeah.
Well, that's where I'm glad you asked that question, P, because that's where I'm going to introduce my chronology research. Do I have the floor? Do I have the floor for that?
Answer my question.
The bones, the time period on bones is Fugazi, P. Fossil,
okay.
You
said bones.
That's my answer.
It's my go. It's my go. You said the fossils are Fugazi. That's your answer.
No, I said fossil time periods. These fossils is millions of years old. It's Fugazi, Pete. That's what I'm saying. Get it right.
What evidence do you have to show the presence of Black people in the Americas before the Europeans? Where is the oldest evidence that can be found that points to the presence of Black people in America?
The definition of the word America in 1828, P.
Oh my God, bro. One more time. Where is your evidence of Black people's presence in the Americas pre-Columbus? Where is
P? I'm gonna answer your question. I get it. We are the evidence because I just told you no foreign invader to an indigenous land.
Oh, you don't have evidence.
Wipe out the land. Racism.
You can't point me to an archaeological record. You can't point me. No, it's my question and answer.
All right,
you ain't answering that question. What the fuck? I'm gonna let you keep talking. You can't point me into no archaeological record to prove the presence of Black people in the Americas. I made it broad. So now I'm going to ask you another question. She says, I have to hold my hands. Where is the bodies of your oldest, not your oldest, but the oldest Black people in the Americas found?
The oldest bodies is cemeteries from the 1500s. Wherever cemetery in America that dates from the early 1700s, that's the oldest bodies. We don't have no hit.
Where is it? Where is it?
P. In order to answer,
where is it?
Let me answer. P. I'm gonna give P. I gave you the floor, P.
Give it to me. I want the answer. Where is it?
We talking about fossils. I told you fossils
I
are
ain't
not.
saying shit about fossils. I said bodies. Where are the bodies?
Bodies are found in your local cemetery. That's where bodies are found, P.
where
The
the
fuck you
bodies
talking
of
about,
the black people
I
that been
worked in the
India.
cemetery for 3 years.
So
P.
you
What you
don't
talking
have an
about? That's
answer to
where
my
bodies
question.
are
Let me move
found.
on. You wasting
You
my
got
time.
cemeteries.
So you don't,
You got.
so
Wait,
you
wait,
don't
P.
have
Answer
you
your
don't
question.
have an
All right,
answer to my
yeah,
question.
you my
You
fault.
don't have an answer to my question, so I'm gonna move on. So all right, let me move on to my next question. What is the earliest account? The earliest account of Spanish, Portuguese, French, Dutch, I don't give a damn. The European settlers, what is the earliest account of European settlers saying that they saw black people in America?
They didn't see nobody. They are the black people. What the fuck? They're not seeing nobody as black people. They are
Wait a
the
minute, hold on.
Aboriginal
You said the
Indians are
Europeans?
the black people, bro.
No,
That's my premise,
listen,
bro.
no, listen
What
to
are you
my
talking
question
about?
again. Listen to
Yeah.
my question again.
Mhm.
When the Europeans arrived in the, let me say it this way. When the
Mhm.
Europeans arrived into quote unquote the new world,
Mhm.
where is the record or the account of them saying that they saw black people?
They weren't called black people back then. They were called copper skin red Indians. That's what they were called back
So
then.
Columbus said that he saw copper skinned red people.
Yes, that's what he said.
Where did he say that at?
All right, let's bring up the sources. My next, I remember I showed you. Put the notes back up, Pete.
I ain't gotta put no fucking notes up. It's question and answer, nigga. Where the fuck did
All right, I'm gonna pull up the source
saw
on my phone.
copper colored red people?
That was the definition of America in 1828.
No, I said where, because Columbus predates your goddamn
I
definition.
know. Yes, I know.
So what?
I know he does.
So why the fuck would he use red or copper? Where
He
did
called us
Columbus?
Indians.
And when he saw
The
no,
name Columbus
where-
gave to black people.
where
Wait,
did
wait.
Columbus or any other European source that came in the 1490s said they saw black people?
The name that Columbus gave to quote unquote black people. Black is a misnomer.
That
The
can't
first name. Wait,
be
wait.
used.
P. You cut me off. I'm answering your question, bro.
No, you're not. It can't be used. It can't be
Why
used,
not?
bro.
Tell me why it can't be used.
We're talking about the 1490s. They don't know shit about definitions and terms. They see what they see. Did he not say they look like the Canaries or no?
Say, repeat that question.
Did he say that they look like the Canaries? Yes or no?
They look like the Canaries. Who are the Canaries?
Did he say they look like the Canaries?
Aren't the Canary Islands in African?
It
In
don't
Africa?
matter who they are or whatever.
It does matter. Because who
Oh,
you saying that he said he looked like?
Did he say
He look
it?
like
Yes
people
or
in
no?
Africa,
Did he
melanated people in
say that
Africa,
they look
or he
like
look
the
like
Canaries?
European people that
Nah.
they call African?
Did he say that they
It
look
does
like
matter. P, you can't say that don't matter.
Did he
It does
say?
matter.
Did he say that they look like the Canaries, bro?
Who are the Canaries, bro? I
It's
know
not
you read
who
it. I know you read it in your
Canaries.
shit, but who
I
really
know it's
are the
not who
Canaries?
Canaries.
Melanated people?
What?
They
Listen,
melanated people, right?
you don't have any firsthand account. You're gonna dominate my 10 minutes, and I'm not gonna let you. You don't have any record of anything. So I brought Columbus up to
Just
you
gave you the
because
record.
he gives a description. So when Columbus
did.
in Columbus's journal, when he gives a description about who he saw, did he say that they looked like the Canaries?
What your source says, that's what they said. But my
No,
source
I'm
says
asking one more
American
time.
people.
I didn't show a source. I
You
showed
said, no, you
repeated-
read in your chat about Canary Islands. Didn't you read in the
No.
grounds
No,
of
I ain't
Canary
said-
Islands,
I
bro?
ain't read- I
Yes
ain't
or no?
read
Yes
shit.
or no,
I
P?
ain't read
Did you
about no
bring that
Canary
up? Yes or no?
I read
Did you bring up
Columbus's
the Canary Islands in your round? Yes or
I
no?
read Columbus's account of who he saw and who he compared them to. So
To the Canary Islands, right?
I simply asked you.
That's what you're
I
right. That's what you
simply
said
asked
through your
you a
source, right?
question.
I'm
I
going off
simply,
your sources. I'm not even going on
I
my shit.
simply asked you a question. Who did Columbus say he saw, and you couldn't answer it? So now
No,
let
I
me
asked you
move on.
who are the
Hold
Canaries.
on.
I'm not sure. I'm
Let
not going
me
to
move
answer a
on.
question I'm not sure
Let
about.
me move
Who
on.
are the Canaries?
Let me
Who are the
move on.
Canary Island inhabitants?
It doesn't matter
That's
about
what I'm
who
asking you.
else said who
Clarify that.
Columbus-
Then I can answer your question.
Okay. Columbus said that he saw the Canaries. All you had to do was say, yes, that's who Canaries say. That's who he said he saw. People that looked like the Canaries. He didn't say that they were the Canaries.
It could be a
He said
multiple
they
people
look
in the
like
Canaries.
them.
It could be white people in the Canaries. It could
No,
be black people.
he's-
I don't
in
know
his-
who in the Canaries, so I'm asking
in
you
his
who are the
description-
Canaries, bro. I'm not just
in
gonna say
his
Canaries because you
description-
said it. You said that's what you said.
In his description, he said specifically they're not either black nor white. They're
So
not
if they
black nor
or
white.
if you
He said they're not black nor white.
1 minute, wrap it up.
You
Gotta
gotta
finish what you
understand.
was about to say, P.
He said they're not black nor white. So you have no argument.
So if they're
You
not
have
black
one.
or white, then how you know who they are then?
He
What the
said
fuck?
they
P,
favored
my
the
fault, P. I ain't
Canaries.
personally.
They're not black nor no, you good. They're not black
So
nor
if
white.
they're not black or white, then how you know who they phenotype is then, bro?
Because he
What kind of
gives
sources
a
you giving me?
description.
You're not proving
He gives
anything.
a description. He says they got wide
It's not
forehead.
if they say they don't know who they black or white, then how is that a description, P?
I got like
How
30
is that a
seconds.
description? They
I
don't know who
got
they
like
black or
30
white.
seconds.
That's like
I got
like
30
P.
seconds.
Listen, P.
I got
Hold up.
30
If I
seconds.
commit a crime
Now
and
listen,
the
and I got
police
30
come
seconds.
and the person
They're not
and they
black
ask
nor
the,
white.
the victim
They
like,
got
yo,
broad
what do you
hair.
look like? He
Nose
gonna
is
be the
circle.
victim gonna be like,
They
yo,
have
I don't know
Hey,
if he's
Yodi,
black or white. He gonna say, oh, I
Yodi,
know who he is.
Yodi, let him get that last question out.
Time.
Smarter than that, P. You smarter than that, P. Come on, P. Use your critical thinking skills.
One more time. He gave a description and then he explained who he saw. He gave us an encounter. He said that
He didn't
talked about-
explain who he saw, P. He said they're not
Didn't?
black or white.
Didn't?
How's that an
He didn't.
explanation, P?
He didn't. He didn't
Hey,
talk
yo,
about
time,
that.
time.
Okay.
Time.
What the
Yeah,
fuck is you
time.
talking about?
Sean in the corner. Okay, you know what? Are we gonna have people come and ask questions, or what we gonna do?
I'm gonna mute
Yeah,
it.
I don't think we need a closing.
Whatever P want to do and the moderators. I'm follow y'all. Follow y'all.
So I don't know, it's because I saw somebody ask for the link, so I don't know if somebody want to come up and hit the panel and ask a question.
Oh, well, the link is in the chat, guys.
I don't know how hard it is to answer the question. He gave a description. Period.
He didn't give a description, P.
It's it.
So are we gonna
P,
give our
he said
thoughts about the
We
debate?
don't know.
Hold on,
if
Yodi.
this is
Hold
from
on,
your
Yodi.
words.
Hey, yo. Let's give it while we wait for people. Let's start with Yodi. Just give a quick 2-minute closing on the debate, your position, and what you thought of the debate entirely. So 2 minutes.
You want me to start now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Like I said, P, I respect you to the utmost. Everybody on the panel, I respect you to the utmost. Everybody in the chat, whether you disagree or agree with what I'm saying, I respect you to the utmost. My closing argument is this: the Afro-American, the Afro-Latino, and the Afro-Caribbean are the original American Indians mixed with Asiatic and European blood. I'm gonna say that again. The Afro-American, the Afro-Caribbean, the Afro-Latino are the real Aboriginal Americans of the American continent. Is America a country and a continent? No, America is a continent, not a country. I say it again. America is a continent, not a country. And whoever is black, so-called black, I use the term black, even though that's a misnomer. I use the term because people don't understand what I'm saying when I say certain things. So I use the term black. What I mean by black, I mean Afro-American, Afro-Latino, Afro-Caribbean people of the Americas are the original Indians of the Americas. Right? And that's bottom line. Nobody can disprove it. The opposition, Sean P., respectfully, dance around my arguments, but that's cool. Respectfully. He don't see me as a brother, but I see him as a brother. I'm not here to downgrade anybody's ideology. All I'm doing here is bringing the other side of the story. And I hope it. And I didn't even get to Anatoly Fomenko yet, which is my favorite author right now. He's a Russian mathematician and astronomer, and he studies the science of chronology. And you can't study history without chronology. I'm gonna say that again. You can't study history without chronology. He didn't create chronology.
All right.
How many minutes? Are we doing?
Yeah, it's just 2 minutes. It's just 2 minutes. Go ahead, Sean. You're
right.
closing.
In closing, the research questions are straightforward. They're pinpoint. They're accurate. Were Black people in America before the arrival of the European? In order to answer that question, you have to have several different fields of evidence to qualify it. You can't go by cherry picking shit and presenting it. You have to have hard evidence. What would be hard evidence? Genetic evidence, which is left by everywhere human beings go. That is not brought up. What I did bring out in this presentation was even a study about skin color that was significant and was passed and glossed over in the second round. But sticking to the accounts of Christopher Columbus is how we get here. So we have to go by what he says. Once he tells us what he says, then we have to have qualifying evidence to substantiate it. That evidence would have to be, like I said, in answering this research question, genetic evidence, because your biological makeup will not lie. You cannot hide from it. So, in closing, all I had to do was stay on topic, present the argument and the only evidence that exists. There is no counter evidence about Columbus's account, and break those down so that the people can see them live. And to add the spice in there, I used some genetics because it's that easy.
All right. This is a pretty good debate. Sean, go ahead and put a poll in the chat so the people can vote. And looks like some people came up. I guess I got some questions. If y'all got questions, let it be known who you're asking the question to, or if you're just making a comment.
Yeah, I got a question for the brother trying to argue Black indigeneity. Since you're trying to argue that Black people are indigenous, right? That would mean they would have been isolated from the old world. So how did those isolated Black indigenous people overcome the old world diseases and non indigenous animals that was brought to the new world?
Is that question towards me or the opposite?
Yeah. That's for you.
To basically answer your question, bro, your perspective starts on that you believe that the American Indians was wiped out by diseases and the Europeans brought the disease. That's your perspective. So my question, my straight up question to that honestly is, whatever you believe is a lie.
Well, it's not that it's so much that it's a lie. It's basic human first interaction experience, because it's indigenous groups that human beings today in modern societies aren't able to make contact with because the diseases we would bring to them. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying?
I was saying, two, can you show me a record of malaria? Because Europeans wasn't the only one who brought old world diseases. They enslaved Africans as well. So what case of malaria can you find over in America older than the one found in Africa, which is over, I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, 30,000 years old?
All right, can I respond? Okay. If 40% of malaria, if 40% of African Americans or Afro-Americans, and with that term Afro-Americans, I'm gonna include Caribbeans and Latinos, right? I know people don't do that, but I am going to do that. If 40% of African Americans have the sickle cell trait, what is one of the diseases that the sickle cell people can't get? It's malaria, right? Who's a fact checker in the chat? They could verify that. So if my point is, what you believe is false, bro. That doesn't prove anything. Who get malaria, who don't?
You got a source,
And
or
if you're
something
gonna
to
use that,
prove that?
wait. If you're gonna use malaria, then isn't 40% of quote unquote Afro Americans have the sickle cell trait which fights off malaria?
Well, it's
How
not
does your
just
argument prove anything? That's my question to you.
because if these people that you say was indigenous and black were here in America isolated off, they wouldn't have the immune system.
I never said they were isolated.
So who did they meet then?
You're going off the perspective that the
No, who
Europeans
did they
were the
meet?
first
No, yeah,
people
cool.
that were.
I understand that, but who was the first person? Who did they meet? The European?
I'm going to try to answer your question.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, go ahead. You want to finish? Go ahead.
I mean, you supposed to be answering the questions, brother. I'm supposed to be
You're
the
not
one with
letting
the
me
questions.
answer the question. You kind of interrupted me. So
You don't answer my questions. You ask.
I'm about to answer your question right now if you allow.
All right, go ahead, bro.
You're going off the perspective that the Europeans were the first ones that met the Americans, and that's false. I'm gonna send a book. I could send a book to Sean P. right now that's called America in Mythology. It was published in 1934. It said that the Chinese knew about the Americas before the Europeans. I have another article in the and this is all in the notes that I published before the debate, so people could see that I brought sources. It's called the restart of the myth of the conquistadors in the Americas. And it says that there were two Portuguese brothers in the year 1212 that sailed to the Americas 200 years before the Columbus. And I have that source right now. And all I got to pull it up is send it to Sean P. So you're going off the belief that the Europeans were the first or the only ones that knew about the Americas. And you also go off the belief that Columbus was lost on them. Listen, no sailor or captain would ever get on a ship and don't know where they're going. I'm going to say that again. No captain or sailor of any ship in history would get on the seas and don't know where they're going. So this mythology, I'm not going to say mythology, wrong word. This misconception of Columbus was lost and didn't know where he was going is BS, brother. And that's where you're coming from. And that's my answer to your question. Go ahead.
Yeah, but in my honest opinion, and in historical fact, there's just a whole lot of pseudo. Honestly, it's just a bunch of pseudo and bullshit. But I'm past. I'm gonna let somebody ask the opportunity.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, did you have a question for Sean before I let next person speak?
Nah, son P. I really don't have no question. You doing what you always do, you know what I'm saying? Pushing these niggas shit in. You know what I'm saying? Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Keep pushing the real information.
All right. Next person. Who's your question directed to?
So it's Yodi. So again,
Ask Sean some question too.
yeah.
You sound far away though.
All right. So let me get this out real quick because
No, but you
I
sound
don't
like
know why
low.
your thing sound low.
Yeah, you sound low.
let me try something else real quick. Do I sound clear? Do I sound louder?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, bro, you got the floor. I'm listening.
All right. So if there is evidence of us being here, why is it so vague and so difficult for people to show this? Why is it so hard for the evidence to be presented? And
Can
either
I
one of y'all
respond?
could answer that.
Can I respond first? Can I respond first? Yes or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is my personal perspective. Black people stupid. What do the white men say when they put information
Hey,
in the book?
so once again, I just for the record, before you go, for the record, you continue to say the same thing that you did during the whole question, during your whole presentation, that You don't know. This is your personal perspective, and you have yet to meet the burden of proof. So, to Sabio, the burden of proof is too much to bear. That is why they can't show you shit. He can give you all these. I don't care what he can do. He can filibuster us with information from the 19 and 1890s. He can do that all he wants, but none of that even agrees with him. So I sit here and let you talk. I heard everything that you said. I'm continuing to let you make claims. I'm just gonna mind my business and let you say this stupid shit because it sounds crazy to hear when other people are listening. Because you reclassified groups of people that have genetic ties to other places that are unbeknownst to your ignorance because you are afraid of evidence and you can't present any. Now answer the question.
That's cap, P, but go ahead.
No, answer this question. Why is the burden of proof so much to them? Why you can't show evidence?
That wasn't his question, but I'm gonna answer his question.
Hey, Sabio, answer your question.
It absolutely why is the burden of proof so difficult for those people who claim that we were always here? Why is the evidence so hard for y'all to bear witness to? Why is it we just gotta believe what y'all say? Why is there's no evidence?
Okay, can I answer? Can I respond? Do I have the floor? Yes, no?
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Okay. Now, what you saying is you saying that we didn't provide proof. We provide absolute proof. Y'all putting me in the Abbo conversation. I don't consider myself the Abbo. Even though we agree on the foundational principles of the Abbo doctrine.
Can you just hold on before you go further?
I can't finish. Okay, go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, before you go further into answering his question, you had mentioned proof. So what I want to know is, it goes back to Sabio's question is, first, can you define what is considered as proof or evidence, and then continue to answer his question?
The proof, one of, not the, but one of is linguistics and etymology. Definition of
No. I asked you to define what proof is.
I just defined it to you. One of the proofs is linguistics,
so the meaning
and
of
etymology and language. That's one of the proofs.
That's the definition of proof.
I said that's what you asked me. What proves us being
Go ahead, bro.
Restate the question.
No, I'm asking,
restate the question.
No.
I'm asking you. Restate the question. What you want me to answer?
Okay. What is your definition of proof?
Language, linguistics, etymology. That's my answer.
Can you pull up the definition of proof in your, since you like to use nothing but etymology? Can you look up
you want the definition of proof?
Yes.
Okay, let's.
What qualified?
Nah, and then you can pull it up. P, you pull it up. You pull it up.
Okay. So you want me to read?
You can share it with the chat.
No. Do you want me to read it?
We all go. If you pull it, we all can read it. You can read it if you want to.
No. I'm trying to, but that's not my point. It's not about me pulling it up. It's me trying to understand what you see as evidence or what you see as proof, and how is that defined and mean to you in order to answer Sabio's question. You have to know what.
I answered your question. I answered your question. I said language and linguistics and etymology. I answered your question, Pete.
Is that going to help you establish a fact or the truth of a statement?
I said that is one of the proofs. It's one of the proofs. I don't have Pete. I don't have a laboratory. I don't have a team of
not what I'm asking, bro.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm just a stupid black man.
Hold on, Yodi. Hold on. I'm going to do it.
But I do have critical thinking skills, bro.
Okay, so why you don't have any evidence?
God bless me. God has blessed me with critical thinking skills, brother. That means I don't believe everything people say, whether it's in a book or
Yodi. Let me help. Hold on, Sabio. Yodi, listen to me. Listen to me real closely, okay? Sabio, you echoing. Yodi, did the Twin Towers fall. Did that event happen?
Yes, sir.
And how do you know that event happened?
Through social media. I wasn't there. I saw it on TV.
No,
How
no,
you
no.
saw it?
Hold on. Just stay with me. Don't go too far left or too far
I'm
right.
with you, P. I'm with you. You asked me a question,
You
right?
said you saw it on social media and through
No,
TV.
I saw it on. Well, I mean, I said media. I misspoke. I mean media, like
Media.
TV.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
what I meant.
So you
My fault.
okay, but aren't you in Brooklyn, New York?
I'm not, bro. P. Who said
No,
I was
listen.
from Brooklyn? Did I say I was from
You're
Brooklyn? P.
not Brooklyn.
I said I
Are
was
you in
from
New York?
Queens, P.
Are you Queens? My bad. Queens, B. My bad. Queens. But are you in New York? Queens, New York.
No,
to
I'm
be
not.
specific.
No, I'm not in New York, bro.
Okay. All right. Were you in New York?
Yes.
Did you see the towers when you were in New York?
Oh, you talking about if I was in New York when the towers fell, P? That's the question?
No. That's not what
I
I'm
was
saying.
not. I was in Florida when the towers
Okay,
fell.
but when you were in New York, did you see the towers?
Yeah, P.
The answer-
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so the towers existed when you was in New York,
Yes.
but the towers was not there no more when they fell.
Yes.
And we have evidence of that because we have firsthand accounts demonstrating how, when, where, what, and how happened. I said it backwards.
Yes, that's a fact.
Okay, so now when we're asking you for that same criteria to be met, why can't you show us the evidence?
Well, I think the first thing that needs to be explained is what a primary source is when it comes to research.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that,
having a
brother.
first-hand
Glad you said
account, having a first-hand account is important, but also having supporting evidence, such as I'll use the scenario with the Twin Towers, such as video recordings, which would be primary, such as audio recordings of during the event, after the event, people responding to the towers falling. So I think we need to understand what a primary source is in order for him to be able to present what his proof is, because his proof isn't going to be based on primary sources if he doesn't understand what that is.
Can I piggyback off that what you just said, bro? Just real quick, and I'm gonna give P the floor after that. What you just said is absolutely correct. And that's what I'm saying. No historian can talk in absolutes. No historian, myself or my opposition, can't talk in absolutes. Meaning that we don't know exactly what the fuck happened back then. Excuse my French. We don't know what happened back then. We're gathering, all of us are gathering secondhand sources. My argument is my secondhand sources is more provable than yours. That's my argument. I'm gonna yield the floor to that.
I'll ask real quickly. How do historians gather information to reconstruct history or to help us understand the past?
You asking me that?
That's strictly that's strictly for you.
Okay. One way is linguistics. Etymology is the origin of linguistics. That's one way. Second way is archaeology, paleontology, and ethnology. Those are the other sciences that humans have put together to decipher the historical records. That's my.
And did you use any of those disciplines? Now, did you use any of those disciplines to present your argument here today?
Well,
yes, I have.
Okay, which one of all of them that you named that you used?
Linguistics, etymology.
Okay, so yeah, I want to respond to that part because he's leaning on linguistics. So regarding the reason for why we're here for this debate, how is linguistics used? And you specified etymology when linguistics covers vast subsections and categories. So how did historians use etymology within the field of linguistics to be able to reconstruct or explain history?
Well, the etymology is the origin of words. The first definition is when the word was conceived. So that's one of the ways that they use to construct historical events.
All right, what are the other ways?
I just told you ethnology, archaeology, and paleontology. So I just told you that.
Okay. With linguistics, and then I'll pass it on. Linguistics is specified to, when we're talking about historical context, linguistics is specified to deciphering ancient languages or understanding how words change their meaning over time.
All the above. All the above. All you just mentioned that's part of linguistics.
Correct. But I'm trying to see how linguistics fits within your argument. It doesn't necessarily fit. It's not like the etymology is providing a linguistic analysis.
Can I ask a question to that?
Sure.
Why do you feel that etymology doesn't apply to linguistics or doesn't give meaning to identity or ethnicity? Explain that.
Just because etymology indicates how the origin of the word was and the context that the word was.
May I interject?
Hold on. You asked me a question.
Go ahead.
So just because etymology gives you the origin of a word and explains the context of how the word was originally used, especially in the language or culture that word came from, doesn't denote context. It doesn't provide context. So even hold on, I'm almost done. I'm not going to be long-winded. Even in the debate, you specified that etymology was providing a definition, and etymology doesn't function that way. Definitions are provided by tools like dictionaries, and they define words and give words context and meaning. Etymology does not do that. Etymology just tells you how the word was used.
I disagree, but go ahead.
Okay.
You just sat there and told a whole bold-faced lie to 100 people in the chat.
I can vouch for that, and I probably
I'll give you the floor. Vouch for it. Prove it. Go ahead.
Okay.
You got the floor.
So I can do that, and then while I'm pulling that up, define etymology. In your own words.
Etymology?
Define etymology in your own words.
Okay, so the only way I could do that for you is through my phone and computer. So you accept that definition, or
No. I'm saying in your own words.
Etymology is the origin of words. How was words conceived and how words was transformed into other definitions over time. That's etymology.
Okay, I disagree with the second part, but the first part you just agreed.
Wait.
Hold on. The first part. Hold on. I want to address this. The first part that you said there, because you said "and," which means it represents two parts. The first part of what you said there that references etymology, I said the same thing, and you disagreed.
Do I have the floor? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You are lying.
Okay.
Listen, you're saying that the second part don't count. The second part does.
I'm not saying it doesn't count. I said I disagree.
That's why I'm saying you're lying. Go ahead, though.
Okay. I said I disagree. How am I lying if I disagree?
I disagree with you.
That's fine. That doesn't mean you're lying.
And vice versa. But prove what you're saying is true. You're not proving anything. You're just babbling.
But the fact that you agreed with me on what etymology
is.
You
said I didn't agree with you. You said I gave you the definition of etymology. You said one part is true, the second part is a lie. Yes or no?
No. I said I agree with the first part. I disagree with the second.
That's what I just said, bro. That's what I just said. I said you.
But saying I agree or disagree is not truth or lie.
You got the floor, bro.
Hey, real quick. So when he answered your question and you said that he was lying, that goes back to what Sabio asked you initially about how do you qualify something as proof or evidence? Because when someone presents evidence to you, you said it's not the truth, it's a lie, or you give us some type of other hurdle that gets in the way of dealing with the actual information. So that when I asked you specifically about the towers, I was giving you an example of what I was relying on. And you're saying the only thing that you're going to rely on is linguistics and etymology. Well, linguistics and etymology don't prove that your black ass was in America before Columbus. It actually does the opposite, because guess what works with linguistics and etymology? You know what works with that?
I got the
Every other field of science, which would either substantiate one or the other or cause a problem in one or the other. You don't have the genetic evidence. You don't have you call fossils or bones, you call them like fake, bro. You don't realize
Yes,
that
I did. I did call the dating of fossils is fake. That's what I said, people. Go ahead.
Even in the day, how do you know that the dating of fossils is fake? What evidence do you have that qualifies you to take that position and hold it?
Radiocarbon dating is a fugazi science. People.
One more time.
How do you prove that? How do you prove that?
I have sources. I have sources. It's called Anatoly Fomenko. You ever heard of that scientist?
Okay, and how do you prove that? How do you prove that?
How can we all prove anything? We all
No. You said you have a source. That means you're well read. How did he prove that?
I'm about to tell you. He assembled 30 people with different sciences, archaeology, paleontology, vexiology. You know what vexiology is?
Yes, continue.
What's vexiology? For the chat.
You know,
but what do for define it for the chat.
Nah, you define it. You're making the argument.
Vexiology is a study of flags.
Vexiology is a study of flags,
vexiology.
including their history and design.
Vexiology
and also how
flags and coat of arms. People.
Correct. What do flags have to do with radiocarbon dating?
That's not my point. You
brought it up.
Okay, so my point is that the research of Anatoly Fomenko proved that carbon dating is a false science.
By using vexiology?
No. That's not no. I just throw vexiology out there.
Okay, well, don't throw something out there that has.
Listen.
Don't throw something out there when we're talking about radiocarbon dating.
Cut me off, and you gonna let me speak.
I'm just saying you threw something out there that had no context to radiocarbon dating, and you're expecting us to look over it as if it's irrelevant.
It doesn't have top. You gonna let me speak? Can I respond?
Yes.
Fault. I'm supposed to be a submissive slave and ask if I can respond in this chat. I'm sorry.
It ain't even all that, but go ahead.
Can I respond? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm really responding to you, bro. And let me give me a second to elaborate. You said first, and the opposition, Sean P, piggybacked over what you're saying. You said first when you asked me the definition of etymology, you said the first part of my definition is you agree with, but the second part you don't.
Correct.
What was the second part?
You can repeat. It's your definition.
No, I'm asking you, brother.
You can repeat your definition. I asked you to define it in your own words.
What
definition?
You're not answering my question. What was the second part that you disagree with when I gave you
you said it. You said it earlier, so go ahead and say it again.
Say it again for the chat.
No, you said it. It's your definition.
Oh my God! So you don't want to respond? What you?
I can give you the standard definition of etymology.
As a man, you want me to speak for you?
It's your definition.
Oh no, bro. Are you dodging the question? I'm
not dodging the question. Now, if you're asking me to define etymology, I can define it. But I asked you to define it in your own words.
I'm gonna repose the question for you, and I'm gonna give you the floor. Can I do that? Yes or no?
Sure.
Okay. Two-part question. Do you remember when you asked me about what the definition of etymology is? Do you remember that? Yes or no?
Correct.
The second part of the question. Did you say that, listen, I agree with your first part of the definition, but I disagree with the second definition? Yes or no?
Correct.
What was the second? My question to you now after that is, what was the second part that you disagree with?
The second part that I disagree with had nothing to do with understanding the origin and historical
Yes,
development
it has
of.
everything to do with it.
How you gonna cut me off with you
Okay.
asking me a question?
I asked you, you're not answering the question. You're dancing around it, bro. But go ahead.
I'm answering the
for
question.
the chat. For the chat.
You done?
You don't want to answer your own question?
No,
Okay, I'm gonna answer the question for you since you need a man to speak for you.
I don't need a man to speak for me. When I was trying to speak, you cut me off.
Listen,
So which is it? Are you gonna allow me to speak, or are you gonna continue to cut me off?
Floor, bro. Go ahead.
So which is it? So I will give you the definition of etymology. Etymology is the study and the origin of historical development of words, including their meanings, word forms, and usage over time. Period.
So you don't. So you saying that etymology don't count after you just read the definition of etymology, and I just told you linguistics.
Did I say it doesn't count?
You're not even letting me finish, bro. Go ahead.
Did I say it doesn't count?
You just said you disagree with the second part of my definition.
Exactly, because it doesn't. It does not. Your second part of your definition does not agree with the standard definition of etymology.
Interpretation, what you said, or what you actually said, what you refuse to say. What the fuck are you doing?
What am I refusing to say?
Yo, bro,
I gave you the definition.
You're circular arguing with me.
How am I circular arguing? I gave you the definition.
Your argument, and I'm gonna answer it after that. Right now.
I don't have an argument. I gave you the definition. There's nothing to argue about the definition.
You didn't answer my question, bro.
What's the question? You asked me two questions. You asked me one.
Okay,
Hold on. You asked me two questions. You asked me two questions, and I answered them both. You asked me one. Did I remember asking you to put the definition of etymology in your own words? And I said yes. And then you also asked me, did I agree with the first part of your definition, and that I disagree with the second part of your definition? And I also said yes. So what question did I not answer?
I asked you to elaborate. What was the second part that you?
Why would I need to elaborate when I answer?
Because I'm trying to get where your mind is, bro. Why
are you trying to get where my mind is? You can't keep up.
So you don't want to answer the question because I'm slow.
I did answer the question. I answered them both.
No, you did not, bro. You did not answer the question.
You wasted my time.
All right, well, we done. So we don't know the etymology.
You wasted my time.
Who else is here? Is that I see Sutekin? Is that Sutekin? Whoever says
Sutek, is that you? You come to get beat up again?
Willie, who's the other person?
I think it's Sutek, Sabio, and I don't know who this is.
I got it. Oh, that sounds really bad.
Your mic is horrible.
Oh, my bad, y'all. I dozed off. Damn, this debate was so trash. I accidentally went to sleep. This is a trash ass debate. John P. information sucked. The little homie would have did